Hi.
This guy's about to kill somebody. Then my cell phone rang.
Horror games. We love them. That feeling of dread, the scares, the thrill of facing your fears. But lately, I've been seeing some flaws. Remakes of the beloved games where sometimes can go bad. Now, sorry, but I haven't played the original Dead Space because Japan being cowards and not allowing on Steam. I would have loved it. Then the remake came along and I was like, hey, that's okay, I'm gonna play that game. But it wasn't really scary. Sure, the performance was bad for my computer, and the combat was, it was fun. But where's the survival?
Where the video games?
Everywhere and even from the mobs in that game will literally give you everything. So much ammo, currency, and even dropping you pity healing items for you to heal when you're at low health points. And even playing the game for an hour, I got so much stuff to a point where I just sell them and get better items or armor upgrades. Plus that with the poor game performance, it kinda ruined my experience, But speaking of horror survival games, where supplies are scarce and you have to manage them and face your fears and enemies of the game, like one of my favorite games ever, Resident Evil 1, where the balance is perfect for me at least, where exploration both rewards you and giving you threats too. And a year ago, I played the game called Darkwood. Yes, the video about Darkwood just is out now after a year after play this game. Darkwood, a 2014 survival horror game. A good horror game will give you this feeling, fear, dread, and some morbid curiosity. Something that you'll ponder and lost in thoughts of the experience you just been through after you finish the game. Darkwood succeeded that. I would say that this game is one of the best horror games I've ever played, period. The game is based on Poland already, a true horrifying place already. And the reason why I wear this outfit is because, I just wanna look like the protagonist from the game, but I don't have a hat. I'm wearing sweatpants for winter. No, that's not sweatpants. It's just the pants for winter because it's pretty warm and I'm sweating. Darkwood has the mix between fairy tales and eldritch story, uncanny, weird, magical. The game has everything to any horror game lovers. Well, of course, just because I love it doesn't mean that you will love it. If you haven't played it, go ahead, go play the game first. Show the devs your support. They deserve every penny. It's clear that they put effort, blood, and sweat to this game. I promise you, you'll enjoy the game. The game is a top-down survival horror game, but just because it's a top-down game or top-down perspective doesn't mean that you can see everything. For example, you're back. You are limited. Remember, you're just a human being. Your vision is a cone. You can't just see anything behind you. The game has also an RNG element where the map can be different to any players. The layouts of the house and the drop locations are also going to be different. That's why every time you launch a new game, you can't just dream speedrun it. Before you start the game, turn it up to nightmare mode. Don't be discouraged from the game's intro. That seems terrifying and scary and kind of threatening, but that will create more tension. The game is fair, or if you die, you'll just lose all your save. Since you'll be playing the game on Iron Man mode, you have to be very cautious. Plus, the supplies are limited, even from the normal difficulty. So if you want the best and unique experience, play the game on the hardest difficulty, please. No, seriously, it's a game changer from normal mode. Seriously. The intro cutscene is monologued by an unknown person, someone who is bitter and angry, feeling like everyone is blaming them for this plague. After the cutscene, you are playing as who seems to be a doctor. Syringes, bandages, and more medical supplies are everywhere. One of the things on the floor is this, a horrifying and deformed, and it seems to be like this thing was a person. There's also a radio. When you interact with it, the character says that the radio has been silent for years. So this phenomenon has been happening for years. Then, when you interact with this doll, you can tell that we are a great doctor. When you gather all the stuff and leave the house, there's a pup which is in a bad shape. So you got two options. One, leave them be and see if if dog was gonna heal up. Even though the doctor tells himself that the dog is in a bad shape and probably should end its life. Or two, when there's any choices you can make in this game, there will big consequences. Not like this Life is Strange level of consequences where most of the consequences don't really matter. The choices you make actually matter in this game, and there will always be consequences like in, just like in real life. When you picked up the axe and smacked the dog with it, what the dog doing? Okay. The dog will transform into a dangerous monster and will kill you. So I recommend killing it. You can use the axe to cut this fallen tree down and go to the deeper woods. And eventually you'll meet this fella who has a key with the number 21. So as a doctor, you carry him lightly to your house, and give him some syringe and... So us, the players, realize that we don't like the doctor, quickly swap controllers to the main character. The main character doesn't have a name or a mute, so we'll call him time to time Colt. Colt eventually get out. Here, from the very beginning, the game has been teaching you from the start basic movement keys, interacting, picking up items. And here, since you got a nice surgery from the doctor who's probably from Ohio, the game teaches you about crafting. But for now though, you'll only be able to craft a lockpick and a bandage. Bandage made from cloth, and you can apply some alcohol on it to heal you much more health points. They're reliable, but although there's some downsides which I will tell you later. And lockpick from a wire, probably like hairpin or clipper, and lockpicks can help you unlock a lot of chests and cabinets all around the world of Darkwood, the game. By unlocking them, can have valuable items, using a lockpick to unlock the cabinet in that room and pick up the shovel. This shovel has enough durability to destroy the locked door. And the game has told you about a lot of stuff: weapon, crafting, item management, health, and stamina. And when you leave the room, the lights goes off. So you run around the house and see how to turn it back on. Then you'll eventually find this generator with no fuel. Nearby it though, thankfully, some gas and a table leg. Since the shovel is broken, the table leg is the only weapon that will become a form of a defense you'll get for now. When you turn the generator back on, the reader speaks. Maybe this number code can be used on the locked door when the doctor did mention where he didn't need to open it. When you open it, Colt hears a man screaming for help. But when you get near him though... Hello? He attacks you. Now, the game teaches you about combat. Charge your attack for the biggest damage that your weapon can output. Attacking will drain your stamina, and that stamina is as important as your health. My main strategy with a melee weapon, like a short metal rod, is that attack the enemy with a full charge, then back out. This will replenish your stamina back in time for another attack, and enough stamina just in case you need to run. After you beat him to a pulp, the man starts laughing. The lights turn off, then you can hear Generator. You are then swarmed by shadowmen. We see that we are approached by a man in a hood. That's the intro for Darkwood. It's great. A great start to know that the woods that you live in is not normal, of course. The dying dog, the doctor who was used to helping people, now interrogating the main character we are playing, us. And of course, the scary nighttime. Ooh. There are a lot of mysteries here. Why does the doctor want the location of where to use the key? Why does the nighttime turn into a hellish nightmare outside? Before we uncover them, we have to survive. Welcome to chapter 1. There is no objective or anything like that top of the screen. Instead, your character Colt writes a reminder of what we should do. So every time he makes this noise, every time he writes could be a valuable info, like on a map or, again, his journal. For example, the protagonist wrote this: I need to get back to my hideout before nightfall. Wandering here at night is too risky. The forest exhibits increased activity after dark. Only the protective gas in my hideout can provide me with relative safety. The journal provides not only lore, but also some information and a lot of hints too. The fact that the main protagonist is concerned if he has changed because he doesn't recognize himself anymore and doesn't feel hungry or thirsty. He also mentioned that the man who saved you brought you to this safe house. He might have forgotten about himself, but remembers that the key that was took from the doctor was his. The protagonist is also gonna make sure about his underground passage, but doubts that despite the doctor ripping half of his journal pages, the doctor won't be able to know where it is. And you notice in this journal that in the very first page of it, is written something 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 into these damned savages. So always check your journal if whether you're lost, don't know what to do, or check your journal if the protagonist writes something. Now, I'm not a fan of backseating, but this one time, I'm telling you this, you need something that tells time. Time is really important to this game, with knowing when does the nighttime begins and ends. To me, I have 3 important rules for this game: consistency, utility, mobility. You need a great and consistent tools for utility. Use the utility to save time with the help of mobility. Be mobile and fast, don't waste time. Some events won't make the time move forward, but when you're outside and adjusting your items while the time moves forward, you're just decreasing your chance of survival. That's why you need to be consistent, utilize your stuff, and be mobile. And let me tell you this, calm is crucial since the game has a huge RNG element. Like I said earlier, the map, safe house layouts, and the item drop locations are all randomized, and you need to come in order to save time and not waste it. So once you wake up, look around. Look for choke points, each entries, and each exits of the house. Each day when you survive a night, time won't move unless you are outside of the fences of the safe house, and use the advantage of it to board up windows or simply heal up. Once you get out of the fence, time moves. So for starters, board up the windows, look for woods, place down bear traps, look for every cabinet you can open for supplies. Also, if you have so much crafting items or anything important that can be used for later on, you can store them on the crafting table, where beside it there's a storage. This is great since you might have so many items that might come in handy, and your overall items from the storage room can be used in crafting while you're on it. You can craft small items like bandages or lockpicks on your own, but you can make a lot more stuff on the crafting table. There's also a well. The well will fully restore your health, but they can be used only once in a day. So use it when you're back on the safe house and have low HP, or just use it at the day start after the night survival. Speaking of healing, there are a lot of healing items, and some of them will give you debuffs. For example, alcohol. Alcohol will reduce your vision for 5 seconds, but will heal you. One of the best healing items in the game are some bandages and some pills. Use the pills if you're running away from the enemy, because using the bandages will slow your movement speed while you're using it. There are also weird items that can consume and heal. Dead rat, embryos, and you can even eat antlers. There are also lamps in each safe house. Place all the lamps in the most comfortable room where you think you have enough space to kite the mobs and defend yourself, because each night one of the lights can be malfunctioned and be turned off. So you need lights in order to fend off against nightmares. So having both of the lights in the same room can protect you against the nightmares outside. And finally, we have this stove, the heart of the safe houses. Stoves are on every safe houses and are used for upgrading your main character, unlocking abilities for survival. Some materials all around the world has these weird meats and mushrooms. These can be used as upgrading points, and once you get enough points, you get to unlock some abilities. I won't tell you what are the best. That's all on you. They're all optimal and great utilities. Also, each night you survive, you get some game's currency, the reputation points. Reputation is gained through trading and surviving the night. The better item you're trading, the higher the reputation point you gain. And use your reputation to get items, weapon pots, materials, go for crafting, etc, etc, etc. Let me tell you, I love the sound designs in this game. It's atmospheric, realistic, the echoes inside safe houses, the grass, the branches. It's great. Even you're playing a top-down game, the audio is, listened from code, the main character's perspective. Once you get out of the safe house for the first time, you have to explore the surroundings. Remember, the layouts, the trees, pinpoints, because when you open the map, it's not like the mainstream games where you know where you are. So remember the surroundings. Instead, your character draws important locations as checkpoints for the map, and it will cover in red when you're near it. Also, it's just to note, just because it's daytime, it doesn't mean you're safe. So in the early game, here are my tips. Get something that tells you what time it is. You need a weapon, fuel, woods, nails, cloth, alcohol. Anything is important right now, because you're weak. You only got a book. A nerd, because your character is not John Wick who uses a book or a pencil to defend yourself. But it's enough time to explore. Since my first playthrough, my Lord Goblin Spirit told me to get everything from anywhere, get back to the safe house just to put them back in the storage and get outside again, wasting a lot of time. Also, For the logs you'll gather around the world, you can use them for making planks, which is great, but the downside is you need gas, and gas is one of the most important thing in this game. Gas is mainly used for generators, the main safety of the safe house, aside from the stove. Without it, you're just a sitting duck. Gas is also used for crafting, so it is that versatile, so save it. So think twice before you use gases in order to convert some logs to planks. Before it gets fully dark, you need to turn on the generator and get back to the safe house. So time yourself and be fast. Also be sure to use the environment to your advantage. You can use closets or couches to reinforce the safe house, but never, ever, don't ever trap yourself. Do you hear that? Nothing but the generator outside of your safe house. I said it earlier again, but the devs made a really great job of making this, sound effects, the ambience, etc. It's honestly terrifying, and if I was in that situation, I'd be busy trying to reach a signal or a Wi-Fi just to watch a new JFS King Cobra video. Each night there will be random events. Off, like a door opening, your typical mental level when you're watching my videos. Also, I have autophobia, so the sound of the generator outside is of course a little bit comfortable, but it's not really comfortable because I need someone's voice in order for me to feel safe, because I don't like being alone. That's just me. You can call me a coward, but some people has autophobia, you know what I mean. And this game is actually really great at making that kind of atmosphere. Makes you feel isolated and make you feel like you're trapped and feel unsafe. The first night is just basically nothing comes, so you're just adjusting to your new home. Get used to this since you won't feel at a safe house in the future. In my situation, my entrance is covered by a closet, which is good for a barricade and easily drag out and make an entrance for going out easier. And once you're about to survive at night, okay. What was that? The silence will be broken by this hopeful music. The game is telling you that you did it. You survive a nightmare. Time might not work properly, but the gas is used over time, so every morning turn it off immediately. After surviving your first night, the protagonist will write this. It was rotten, strange night. Shadowy silhouettes emerged from the corners of my hideout. I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me in the dark, but I'm certain I've seen something. If I come back, I should keep close to the light. Each night, earlier I said that you'll gain reputation points, and you can use those points for trading. Every morning a trader will bring you supplies and will buy anything from you. Well, some people actually sell stuff around the map, but the downside is that some people don't want specific items. Like for example, the wolf will buy weapons and ammo, but won't accept crafting materials or clothes. Also, make sure you gossip with every NPC you met. You're in a world of unknown, so any questions or info can be useful from any NPCs. In this case, the wolf gossips that he's near your safe house. If you want more supplies during the exploring, near around there your safe house with you, just in case if you have anything from him. And remember, time moves forward once you move out of the safe house, so make sure you're prepared, a weapon, healing item, lockpicks, and make your way there. Eventually, you'll reach this building, a burnt house, and meet your first mob. Dogs. These dogs are starving for food, and they only want you, and they only see you as a meat. So yes, it is cruel, but it is survival of the fittest. It's either you or the dogs. There are logs, nails around the building, and inside more materials. You can also gather the wheel from the tractor and its gas left, but if you are vigilant enough, you'll notice that there is something from beneath the couch. When you drag it out, it is revealed to be a trapdoor. Inside, a crafting material and a dress. In the closet, there is also a pack of cigarettes. Now, every time that items pop up, it could be a quest item, and a great thing about these items is that they don't take up your inventory. So there is no downside, collect them all. Behind the closet, there's an entrance to the bunker. This bunker is important, but my coward butt get out of there immediately. Oh, f that. Yep. This place is really important later on in the game, but right now, scavenge anything you want. Now, I didn't realize this, but I was focused on the gun being on the shop with one of the traders. But there is something that we all need, the watch. The watch will tell you what time it is, because currently we don't have a Rolex. We don't have an info if we have enough time to explore more or not. So having a watch is insane, and in the world of Darkwood, a watch is expensive as much as the handgun, by just 150 points. Another location that is great to explore is the entrance to the Silent Forest. You'll encounter some scarabs, and its shell is very valuable to keep, so you can use that in the future. There's a building that you can gain more items and materials, but deeper the building, there's these things. I wonder what it is. These things are toxic but can be quickly and easily be dealt with Molotov or anything flammable. You can pour some gas on it and light it with a matchstick or torches, which is more efficient. But there's this door for this building and you need the code. There's a note in this building, and that note is the one that'll tell you the code. Before I continue though, my goblin instinct kicked and told me spiritually that I had to grab more stuff. Something is floating inside. The skin looks quite thin. Maybe I could puncture with Pierce or something. Why? It's an embryo.
What's going on in Miami, bro? No!
Now, it's a new mob to deal with. Savages. They are similar to the picture of the doctor earlier in the game. Remember the picture? The savages are aggressive. They either fully lunge at you or use a branch to attack you. Once dispatched, they either drop a branch with something or nothing. Some savages use different weapons like rocks. They throw you in a distance, but they don't deal a lot of damage personally. But every time you see a savage with a stick, go get him. Trust me, you'll thank me later, but for now, it is a great weapon because of its decent damage and its long range. And the greatest thing about it is that it doesn't use a lot of stamina, so go get that. And you can use the branch to make better weapons in the future. Well, I told you this many times, since I'm a loot goblin, I had to get back to the safe house, drop the items, and go back and gain more items. But on my way back, we see a different tractor, now with a car battery or tractor battery. We don't know if it could be important. Also, items have value. Better value means better reputation points. So initially, since car batteries and the other parts I got from the tractor doesn't have any value points, so I thought, oh, it's a great item to make on my own vehicle. How wrong I was. Now, on my way back to the safe house, I stumbled upon the wolf. You know, the guy with the head wolf. And so my embryo. Don't do this. Use the embryo to upgrade yourself or eat it. It gives you so much points. It's so valuable, and I hate it how I wasted it because I just sold it instead of using it to upgrade my character. Live and learn, live and learn. And I was interrupted by a moose too. The wolfman, you gonna chill there? I need some kind of a help, man. All you can do is run, but if you have a weapon, killing a moose, kill it and get its antlers, because the antlers, like I said earlier, you can eat them and heal a lot. Darkwood, ladies and gentlemen, Darkwood. We don't know what's going on. God, I need to shave my head. You see, at first, I was just doing this for the bit of me looking like the protagonist, you know. Long hair, messy hair, you know, dirty clothes, you know. I got this jeans of myself getting dirty. Like, it's dirty as hell. Jesus Christ. So to me, at the second night, nothing really happened other than the door knocked. And later, I found out that the door knock actually gives you good stuff. But make sure you have a weapon or a lantern. I didn't know that door knock was a good thing in this world, because that scared the hell out of me, you know? Now, nothing seems a lot different on the second day. Turn off the generator, fix everything, and oh my god, that is not a wolf. This man who's wearing a helmet is named, let's call him Helmet. He's a mute and communicates with a coal and writes words on his arm and hand. A great character design, and he's also a trader. When you show a photo of the road to him, he thinks that the main road leads to a deeper part of the woods and not worth the time to go and look for it. Make sure you think before you purchase, because what you want is a watch, a great weapon, and upgrading your, crafting bench. Because having more access to more tools is so good. Upgrading the bench to level 2 can give you a hotbar upgrade. More item slot for you is great, even if it increases for only one, but it's better to have more quick slot or, more bag space. Because quick slot can be used as an item slot as well to keep your items, like your pocket. Not only for weapons or lantern. There's also a bag upgrade, which for us good loot goblins. There's also a single shot pistol, but you know that it sucks. You won't craft it after you use it once. You use a stone, but that's about it. It's a quick getaway card, but I would prefer much, reliant, efficient, that kind of stuff. In crafting level 2, there you can now craft molotovs and a lantern, and go help yourself with making a lantern. It is much better and a flashlight. Trust me on this. And probably if you know what you're doing, on the second day you get your first upgrade. But like I said, feel free to do so, whichever you think that fits your playstyle. For my first upgrade, I chose Navigator, knowing where I am on the map once a day. Also, upgrading yourself with embryos, weird mushrooms in the forest, and red eggs is not a great idea, but if you can't beat the forest, join them. While exploring, I found this, a shiny stone. It is so valuable and can be picked up when you see, it shines, so daytime. You can see them clearer if you have a light source, with you like a flashlight or a lantern. Selling them will give you 130 reputation points. With that, I got my watch. With my watch, I am not confident to know when do I go back and what time is it, etc, etc, etc. So it's great. Having info for as simply as knowing what time it is great. You can now explore fully aware and know what time it is, and go back to the safe house knowing when the night comes. Through the Silent Forest, I found a Silent Forest hideout. It's your second safe house in the game, so I thought it would be great on the map. The hideout is in the middle of the world, so I can literally explore anywhere. Also, being called as a Silent Forest, it sure as hell is loud. But I didn't fully explore the first region where you're first, introduced or spawned. To make sure, I wanted to stay a little bit longer until I fully explore the region. And in that, sure oh boy, I found something. Good doggy. Cool bedding. But that's next time for that's the next day. Yeah. Since I didn't have enough time for the day, I wanted to explore the place the next day. Finally, since we have the watch, when does the night come? And 8 p.m. or 20 o'clock for us normal people, not you Americans. And the second night, finally, they start intruding. Okay, there's a dog. Okay. Every night, mobs will get you, probably knowing your location because 1, the obvious generator sound, 2, lights from the lamps, and now we know the time when it gets to be daytime and survive the night. It's 8 a.m. So in order to survive a night, you need to hold on for 12 hours. Look, 12 hours might be, quick and easy, because it's a game, Look, the nighttime is double compared to the daytime, but it sure hell, it felt longer. It seems a little bit, slow and long how time was, in this game, but when it's nighttime, it progresses much faster than daytime, but in the cost of needing to fight against the mobs and the horrors of the woods. The next day, I tried exploring the wedding. It was filled with, this unnerving atmosphere, but I didn't have any code, I didn't find any, so I decided once I found that code, I'll come back later. So I grabbed anything that's valuable from my first safe house to the second safe house. Once I got there, of course, I prepped. And I mean, prepped really hard, like moving all the couches and closets to the inside as a barricade, covering up the windows, lay down traps. So yes, I was prepared thinking that the second safe house is much more aggressive than the first safe house. And before I noticed, I can, upgrade my character again, because thank God, this safe house is a mushroom farm before the apocalypse has begun. And on my second dosage, the shrooms, this happened. Wait, what? A dream sequence, maybe some kind of a flashback of our main character, and this place is a very similar place of the bunker from the first region. Someone is calling out to you, getting you to come closer to them, and then when you open the door, it's just under the trees. While you're exploring though, you are then interrupted by something, and then they consume you. This place. Oh god, no, no. I don't know if this is some kind of a metaphor, but to me, it's like the more we take these drugs, our main character is slowly becoming one with the forest. Since, all the substance he took was from the forest. The weird red eggs, embryos, and for crying out loud, the mushrooms everywhere. But now that you think about it, it's pretty weird because our character knows how to cook it and knows how to use it. So probably some people in the woods use them for an advantage to survive, make them gain abilities to live and fight off their, threats. But what about the savages, the wolf, the helmet? Well, the wolf, probably due to his personality, a hungry and a greedy guy, taking a lot of his, own survival, he has turned into a wolf for increasing his senses and nose, sounds, and probably a better killing instinct. Fight or flight. Maybe he's that kind of sense increased. I don't know. Savages are probably who have failed making the right drug, and that's why they slowly have grown antlers on their heads. And for the trader, not much to be said about his abilities other than somehow knowing where you're staying, being able to travel the forest alone and safe. So we don't know much about him yet. Also, in a second safe house, there's a bike bell. It reads, liquor tasting and transport service, fast and efficient. Call now. When you use it, you can hear something. And then a man on the bike has appeared. He provides the service of transporting your stuff from the previous safe house to the current one. And by the looks of him, he probably took some of the, for a shroom dosage. Not only the alcohol that has changed this man. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I would be like that too if I am drinking alcohol and taking shrooms all night. Not only by the looks, but how fast he is and being able to travel through the forest safely. But in exchange, you need an alcohol for the efficient transporting service often. No reputation is needed, but you need an alcohol, a bottle of alcohol, and it's pretty rare to find in this game, and I'm shocked. I thought Polish people were all alcoholics other than Danish people. So save up at least 1 or 2 bottles of alcohol if you're gonna move to a different safe house. In Zone 2 is a bit harder than Region 1. It's full of savages and more dogs, so have a lot more weapons that deals damage from long range, from guns or a shovel. For example, a pistol, a great long-range weapon, if not the best utilizing weapon in the game. But for me, a branch is the best weapon for me. Well, what did I do after I prepped the second safe house? Well, I looked around everything around the safe house. Any landmarks, items I can scavenge, or threats even. Unlike any other survival games, the mobs in this game actually don't respawn. Well, except when it's nighttime, they come in endlessly until the daytime comes. Like Region 1, the wolf is actually really near to your safe house again. It's the same items from Region 1, but gives you objectives as well, and you get some rewards from him. These objectives are important to the story, so I recommend doing them. In Zone 2, these corpse husbands are everywhere. And if you end up stepping on them, it will deal a bit of damage, but toxic damage, so it lingers. In Zone 2, a lot more check marks are to be found. Giant holes, pig shed, huge tree filled with savages, and Zone 2 has a lot to offer. Also, a bridge, and if I were you, don't go near there. Don't. Ever. Not yet. Not yet, Jimmy. If there are a lot of valuable stuff and side quests are to be found, take your time, because even if the night gets harder, you will be prepared. But in order to get prepared yourself to survive, you have to explore. Gather materials, everything. Like I said earlier, just like any survival games, you need to be prepared. Get weapons, healings, etc, etc. I said it like 20 minutes ago. In Zone 2, unlike the first zone, the wolf actually gives you an objective. I said this earlier. There he tells you this. He tells you that he wants the key from some old lady's door. Behind the door is unknown. He does not tell you, but he does want you to get that key for him. And if you guess up again, he tells you this.
Hear that screaming? It's one of the secrets. Find that pig shed meat, make that scream stop, and the treasure will be yours.
Not only one, but 2 objectives. The pig shed earlier was filled with mobs, but at the same time, you have no idea what this pig shed is about. He did point out that the pig shed is connected to the villages down south. So our objective right now is get the key from the old lady to the wolf and burn the pig. I wonder what could that be. On my first playthrough, this game kicked my ass. The wonky controls, I was shaking and crying and all over the floor. But the more you move and more stuff you carry and craft, you'll find yourself overcoming those threats slowly but surely. It's a great feeling of, I don't know how to say it, dopamine I guess, feeling powerful and overcoming those threats and mobs. It's great. It's a great system that they did. While I was on my way to the village, I was stumbled upon a building. I thought, it was just another abandoned building like the other ones. But once I enter and take the supplies, I see this. A drawing that seems to be by of a child. But then when I entered this building, meet Pietrek. Pietrek is a wonderful human being. I think he has ADHD and autism at the same time. And AIDS, probably from the mushrooms. But Pietro wants the parts you've been collecting from the tractors. So if you have enough parts like tires or car batteries, you'll get the reward immediately. Luckily for me, since I'm a hoarder, the parts from Zone 1, I completely took all of them and I immediately finished the quest. He'll give you 2 weapon parts and a welder. This is insane. With these, you'll upgrade your crafting bench and has access of making more stuff and a great weapon later on. With that, I went down south. Unlike the forest, the time is stopping. Wow, shocker, look at the top right, wow. And everyone, seems pretty calm. Of course, you can collect items, but no combat is available. But this woman seems chilling first, but then kill the pig. Man, that bacon must have sucked. Oh, Jesus Christ, where'd you get it? From Philippines? Eventually, while you're looting, you'll stop by this house. This is the chicken lady's house. You can, funnily enough, enter her house through the window with no problem and talk to her. Man. Imagine you walk in someone's house through the window and be like, hey! There, she talks that this is a cursed land, no place for men, no place for chickens. Gossip to her more and she'll talk about the soul. Thanks to the soul, they have food. Like every RPG game, you have to gossip a lot, get any information you can. Speaking of information, if you have a chicken toy, you can acquire one more dire information.
Hell's bells, where'd you get it? Where'd you find it? Holy mother, it's Jack's little hen, a gift from me, my little brother. A couple days ago, he got mad. I told him, Steve, you're not one of them brainy fellas, you're not nothing. But he wouldn't listen and went off this other fella. Here, take this. He went to see this fella. See him? He never come back. The lady shoves a crumpled photo in my hand.
Oh. So the doctor in the intro, the man he kidnapped, possibly was related to the chicken lady. We can assure that the doctor is not a great man with the info. Show her the photo of the road. She says that the road used to lead to a city, but thanks to the trees, it is now impossible. Throughout the game, a whole lot of people didn't know or just tells us that it's stupid or it's impossible to go through the woods, that leads to the main road. But with the chicken lady telling us that it leads to a city, it gives us this kind of hope. I hope that we can get out of this hellhole. Her answer to the photo can be also a false hope, but at least to me, it felt like that way. Of getting out of this, forest. Maybe to the most people too. But suddenly, a horrendous violin sounds playing. The chicken lady tells them to shut up, so we just go there and investigate and see who's making the horrible sounds. Meet the musician kid. This kid... This kid is something, alright. Let me see. He's in love with the chicken lady's sister and tries to woo her now and then with his violin. He kind of asks you to, get the key for her because he'd like to meet her. He's in love with this lady. To be honest with you, Chief, he's a creep. He watches her, when she changes, when she sleeps, and he thinks that he can, fix her, Now we don't know why she's locked up, well, for now at least. But now we have a choice. We either give the key to the wolf or the musician kid. We don't know the outcome from a creepy musician to a man with a head wolf. They're both strangers, but think about it, the wolfman, he did give us info and can sell us weapons, materials, and supplies. We don't know anything about this musician, at least for now. But he did give us something, an info. There's another key for the pretty lady, and the musician boy tells us that we can find it easily. If we show the photo of the doctor to the musician, he tells us that the doctor used to help but suddenly disappeared. The road. His mother tells us that they used to travel there during night, but eventually his mother also needs to go. Unfortunately, his mother was gone. Left him. Maybe she was taken by the nightmares, lost in the woods, or just simply killed off by the savages or dogs. If you gossip with him more, the people of the village, seems to praise the soul like it's their god. It's beautiful, it's magnificent, shining, and the musician tells us that he wants some meat from the song. Spoiler alert, you can't give the soul's meat to the musician kid. I admit, I felt bad for the kid. Yeah, he's a bit weird, creepy, but he's still a kid who's just fell in love. He wants to taste this, soul's meat, the great old soul's meat. But the villagers won't allow him to. And before you say that I'm wrong or that's a terrible choice I've made, there is no right or wrong. And that is the hidden gem of Darkwood, the hidden kind of, the hidden message. All the choices you will make has consequence. The choices, whether it's moral or simply for your own survival, there is no black and white, it's all gray. There is no right or wrong, it's all about survival. There is no team, it's all about people trying to live a little bit longer. To me, that is the message of Darkwood. What would you do if you were in this situation? Waste some time to help a kid? Would you trust anyone in the forest? What would you do if you met the doctor again? Well, it's a game, of course. You'll get something if you did the quest, right? No, you're wrong. The game side quests, they also sometimes don't give you rewards. It's just people asking for help. When in return, of course, they give you info or some kind of a code or sometimes reward. But again, this game side quests, they all don't give you rewards. It's just people asking for help. And I think that's what's great about Darkwood. It's all about survival. What would you do? Before I made my choice, I prepared myself just in case, get some heals, crafting some stuff and upgrading myself. But then this happened. Another dream sequence or flashback. It looks like a character had a wife and your character wake up in the early morning. In his apartment, when you look for stuff, it's actually normal for once. Instead of finding bandages, axes, metal scraps, branches, pills, you'll find money, towel, normal things. The time before the woods, the time before they all went down. But you need to remember, you're still in the woods. I feel like the game was telling that what it was like to live before the woods, before the woods are actually a calm and a reminder that nature is a part of our lives. But now, the woods are here, consuming us. That dream sequence, we could potentially playing as a different character, but I'd say that that's us, the coat, before it all went downhill. He used to live in an apartment with his girlfriend or, wife. He used to get up early for work, but that is impossible now. You can't go back. You are not living that life anymore. The woods wants you. It's a reminder that there can be both meanings. One is that you can have a peaceful life again, or two, wherever you go, the woods will eventually get you. While I was exploring, I found this. It's nothing new, but it's cool to find out that not all mobs are allies. The dogs are against savages, and the savages are fighting back. Probably they are both fighting for food. Whichever dies will turn into a dinner. You might think I'm praising too much for the game, but come on. That's a cool detail. One night, I had this encounter, earthquake. This event sucks because all the boarded up windows, doors, and the barricade of closets, baths, and stools, they're all gonna get damaged. And if you have no barricade, you have to waste more materials on traps, supplies, heals. It is one of the worst events you could ever have, and the sound is terrifying when it happens. I was hoping to the RNG that the earthquake doesn't do a whole lot of damage to my defense. So when you survive the night with the earthquake, repair and check everything you see. Windows, doors, repair all of them. But while I was repairing my safe house, I was thinking about something. What if not only the shrooms aren't the cause of people's insanity or disfigurement, but also not sleeping? Sleep is something that we all need for us humans to repair our minds and body. What if the woods are causing people to lose their minds, cause them a lot of paranoia and fear that they are afraid of sleeping? Or like early in the game, Colt writes in his journal that he doesn't feel hungry or thirsty. What if it also counts that, they don't feel sleepy? Yeah, that is something I like, not needing sleeping, but it is peaceful when you sleep. It's, it's a great feeling, calming, relaxing. It feels good when you wake up. Unfortunately, the woods aren't allowing us for that. Not even sleep is allowed in Darkwoods. It's bringing out the constant nightmares to the people there. Won't be able to sleep because of the potential threat coming to end you. All of this stress causing the people who lives in a dark wood won't be able to sleep. Therefore, they're losing their sanity. Thank you for listening to my game theory. MadPat. 웃세요, 안타. So maybe not only the mushrooms that affect their minds, but also the woods themselves, casting this aura to the people living in the woods. It's also possible that the threats in the night coming to your safe house could be hallucinations of sleep deprivation, or possibly the woods are controlling some savages to attack you, or just simply savages that invade you for food and supplies. We all don't know, but again, survival of the fittest. At this point, your workbench will reach level 4. If you're smart and not a TikTok cringe lord, I present to you the best melee weapon in the game. The shovel. Unlike other long-range melee weapons like pitchfork or branch, the shovel deals higher than average damage. Also, the durability is so much better. and you can upgrade its sharpness for damage and its durability for more uses. The only downside of the shovel is it takes time to, use its full charged attack. That's all. The shovel is also an important and core item for digging stuff later on the game. So, having its durability upgraded can be used for both defending yourself and digging for more supplies. Well, that will be later in the game. Also, pro tip, remember the early game in the doctor's office? Well, if you didn't break the shovel, you can keep the shovel blade when you wake up on the first chapter. Trust me, you will love the shovel. It's great to have it in the early game. It's the best melee weapon, no question asked. And the best utility weapon in the game? The pistol. Pistol is the best utility weapon even in real life. Small, reliable, and efficient. Just like in real life, reloading a magazine with some few bullets with them, they don't magically, transfer the remaining bullets to the other magazines. This game is not like the mainstream FPS games. Yes, you can make ranged weapons where you shoot one bullet, but that's about it. You're just wasting resources that might not even kill an enemy with one shot. Like I said earlier, one-shot pistol, or or this one-shot shotgun. So you're better likely off making an actual pistol. So it's much reliable. Please make him. Unlike in any other games, when you have a gun, your vision actually gets dimmer around you, which makes sense because when you aim down the gun, you need to focus where to aim. And the more you focus, your aim is gonna get better. At the same time, you will lose the focus around you. It has no durability, but it does need bullets. Per pistol mag, it has 8 bullets, enough to kill about 2 to 3 savages. Or you can do what I did, shoot them from range. If they get closer or damage enough, finish them off with a shovel, and you'll only use 2 bullets and the cost of a small durability on the shovel. It can shoot explosives, gas tanks from afar. The pistol can be a bit expensive, which, the magazine for it costs around 100 reputation points. But you can find the mags a whole lot in this game. And remember about the scarabs? Scarab's shell. Their shell can let you craft armor, an extra HP bar if you will. Get this anytime you want. I assure you this will make the game definitely a whole lot easier. The only downside is that it takes up 1 slot, but unlike the watch, you need to equip the light armor on the quick bar instead of the inside of the bag. So I prefer keeping the armor inside the backpack in daytime and equip the armor if I'm against whether it's the unknown or when it's nighttime. I don't have a lantern, but I have this one. Does this count as a lantern? Yeah, this will be my lantern, yeah. When I get to the pig shed, there are some guards around to tell you to get out. If you do get out of there, they won't chase you, but the closer you get to them, you will be attacked. By this point, you probably realize that, I chose to kill the soul. Then, when you get to the soul, a huge abomination is there laying down. The soul is the main resource of the food of the villagers it produces pigs non-stop. I wanted to kill it with anything, but getting closer to it kicks you, dealing massive damage. So I tried to find a way and saw this wire. The wire leading to the generator possibly electrocuting the soul. But there is a problem. The wire connected to the soul shed has been cut off. So, we need to find a way to fix it. Or, do it my way. Oh. It took around 5 Molotovs and a full mag, but yeah, it's worth it. We learned that the soul is slowly starving due to the farmer who was feeding the soul, actually is gone. This information we can learn is, from, beside the soul's corpse and behind the mayor's house in the Silent Forest village. Both notes contain a code for the chest inside the shed. Inside the chest, including a high-tier item and a photo. And the photo shows the farmer feeding the soul. Talking to the wolf after killing the soul rewards you with a backpack upgrade, increasing its slots. He expresses that finally the cries of the pigs are now gone and he is happy. He also asks you to see the villagers when they find out about the soul being gone the next day. But me, wanted to explore before something happens. I wanted to explore, the village as well. No boy, it wasn't fun. Okay, I need the light. Oh, this place. Oh, this place. Oh, okay, I'm out. I'm out of here. This place. Come on. Oh, hell no. You'll get out of the well, and the musician was right. The key was here. And also remember the old lady? If you have the code for the chest near her, after you open it, inside is a doll. Nothing really tells us much about this, but yeah, I have a theory about it later on near the ending. As I got the key of the chicken lady's door, I gave it to the wolf. He gives you a chicken head and commands you to give it to the chicken lady. When you get to her, she's in grief and worried about her sister because she's missing due to us giving the key to the wolf. But when you show the chicken head to her, the reaction was sad, asking a chicken head who did this to it. Oh, okay, so I've explored as much as I could in Zone 2 and finished every possible side quests I found. So I was like, okay, alright, time to move to Zone 3 since I got the location for the hideout from Pietrek. But man, oh man, it was a mistake. Oh, it's more of those things. Meet Chomper in Zone 3. It is full of them. Oh, these are tough. They can dodge as well. Come on, hit! When you get to the safe house, you'll find this note.
Who the hell are they assigning to us? Masik fucked off from the shack. The whole night he was rambling about some Merrick. I think it's his younger brother or son. I don't know if it was the boredom or the stress that got to him, but it was fucking unbearable. It was the third night in a row. We tried to silence him, but it's fucking Masik. Better not risk it. I slid inside my sleeping bag and zipped it shut. I prefer to suffocate in my own stench than listen to the fucker go on and on about it. After a while, I realized Masik's not there anymore. He left around morning. He took all his equipment, 3 liters of water, a sleeping bag, radio, gun, gasoline, flamethrower, his beloved spitter, and his lucky stone. He only left the hazard suit. We're debating on whether to report this. No one's crazy about running around the woods, looking for a psycho with a flamethrower. Hope he doesn't come back at night. We reported it. They're sending 7 men to search for him. We're coming back through the tunnel.
When you finally get your character upgraded to tier 3 upgrades, you'll see the only wholesome thing you'll see in this game. It's a dev room thanking the supports from the beginning. It's awesome to see devs actually giving credits to the supporters in Kickstarters, I think, and the players who supported this game from the start. You'll see photos of them developing Darkwood. It's nice, but it only lasts for a short time because you need to get out of this damn woods. In Zone 3 is a survival game but directed by Miyazaki, the director of Elden Ring and other Souls-like game. Yeah, I got my shotgun thanks to this zone, but it seems like it doesn't help a lot because oh, come on! This place sucks, this place sucks. I'm gonna go back to the base. That's a bad sign. That's a bad sign. No, f this place. Once it turns to a new day, f this place. I would prefer to help the madman. Oh, no. Just run. This place sucks. 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 Yeah, in Zone 3, there are a lot of god tier stuff there, but you will eventually lose all your materials. So, no, don't live in Zone 3. I immediately packed all my stuff, left Zone 3, moved back to Zone 2. But before I go back to Zone 2 though, the trader tells me something. He'll be struggling. The man drops the sack from his back and bends in half, as if out of breath. He shakes the dust off his clothes, then rolls up the sleeve of his seemingly too small jacket. The first one to devour you, you're heading straight into his jaws. Yeah, no Yes, I didn't want to waste all the supplies, ammos, healing items in Zone 3 every night. I'd rather waste an hour in-game time to get to Zone 3 and explore rather than dying all the time, huh? But before that, I wanted to see what happened in the village since the wolf told me to get there after a day or two. So once I got there, it's a whole lot different. Jesus Christ. Do you remember what I told you? Every choices you make in this game have consequences, and this will have more consequences later on in the game. But right now, you killed their main source of food, you have angered them, and you are doing this for the information. By getting information from the wolf, you now know where the doctor might be. Now, I don't know if this is worth it or not, but I'd say it's worth it. That bacon looked horrible. In Zone 3, there'll be this building, full of barks and wolves. Now it's very obvious that, this is the wolf's base because the wolf is in every zone, like I said earlier. But this is totally different than, any other of his camps. This place is huge and there are dogs there to attack you. It's a lot more dangerous, but it makes sense because, for safety and protection. This might be his actual home, when the night comes. And the camps you saw earlier in the game is probably a stop where he rests up while exploring. The wolf's lair is full of corpses and full of mutted heads, so he was a hunter, I assumed, before all this, stuff happened with this information. It makes sense. Also, when you explore enough though, you'll see what happened to the pretty lady. And when you get to the wolf, the greeting sounds like an angry will growl. I will help you recover your stupid key. I will take you back to Doctor's house. I'm sure you will find some clues on how to reach his current hideout while there. You two will have a little chat. You'll get back what you've lost, and then nothing will keep you from getting the fuck out of my part of the woods. Do you get me, meat? You'll pack your bags, dive into the stinking hole of yours, and it's a fucking pier. And are we going, comrade? The wolf is angry, probably due to us just barging into his home. But he takes you where the doctor was, same place and house from the intro. There, you have to find a code to open the chest. The numbers are all hidden across the floor. When you open it, you'll get a note, a toy, and a journal. That code is for the train card in Zone 3. So, you got the code for the train card, but where's the train? Remember the journal that you got from the chest? Well, that tells you where the doctor is. It's gonna be written on the map. So, I prepared just in case if the doctor is also as dangerous as I thought he was. My heart was beating. This doctor was the same guy who beat our main character, who seemed dangerous, who would do anything to get out of the forest. But when I finally got to him... Man, your wife looks like a husband. Give me my keys. The doctor is lying against the train car's wall. His face is covered in sweat. The intense odor of alcohol hangs in the air. Do not come close, you rotten dog. I won't give you the key. Can't you understand I saved your life? You'd rot away in the clearing if it wasn't for me. You owe me for fuck's sake. The doctor moves closer to the wall, grotesquely kicking his legs against the floor. You think I don't know who you are, Rat? I've managed to get a good look at you. Your kind visits us whenever you please. You hide behind the trees, watch us from a distance, and then disappear. You have no idea how it is to live here. This place, these woods, everything's fucked up here. I won't take it anymore, do you understand? I won't bear the luck of those deformed, reeking bodies anymore, nor the cries of those wretched villagers. First they begged for help, and now I need to hide from them. I'm just an ordinary doctor. How the fuck was I supposed to help them? How? The doctor goes silent, his face now hanging in the wall of the train car. Looks truly pathetic. Can you hear it? It's the walls. They speak to me. My little girl is calling me. I know she's waiting for me. I must come back to her. She's so close. His voice breaks down. I want to go back home. I can see panic in his eyes. Please, this key is my only chance. Help me escape this place. Help me or kill me. You see, somehow I don't trust him. He wasn't the same. He has a point. He did in some way saved us. At the same time, he did left us tied up. He did abandon us, beat the protagonist, and now you realize what you're doing to the doctor right now. You're basically doing the same thing what he did to us earlier. I'm just trying to live. You're trying to survive and trying to get out of this hellhole. The doctor was desperate that he was willing to torture you just for the exit of these woods. He wants to meet his kid again. He wants to see her again. He wants out. Just like you, just like the rest of the people in the forest. But my survival instinct has told me something. I know this is just a game, but I don't know why, but I hated him so much. The doctor? Yeah. Screw that guy. This all could have been avoided if he just helped us instead, Instead of brute forcing the information out of, the main protagonist. The doctor got tired of seeing all the morphing and abomination of the woods has created. He just gave up, abandoned his work as a doctor, and wanted to see his daughter again. And I told myself I couldn't trust him. What if he backstabs you and make things harder? And I did. What would the protagonist do if this was happening in real life? He did try to kill me. You were in a dark forest where dogs get hungry and try to eat you. There are cannibals and dangerous monsters looking to kill you. You have the key to get out the exit to the main road to the city, but you got tired or hurt while you were trying to get to the bunker. So you lay down, passed out. But then this man, a doctor, took you to his home, ties you up and beats you, took your keys and abandoned you. I am pretty sure you will be pissed as hell. He did beg. He did ask for mercy. But can you trust him after what he did? And this is why I love the game. There is no right or wrong. It's all about survival. And this decision I made was difficult. I had to sit there and think, what would I do? I had to spend 5 minutes of sweating and thinking I would help him, but that'll just waste more supplies. What if, if it's another, fetch quest and make the nights harder in the future? What would have happened if you did help him? And would you trust him again after all what he did to you? Either way, where it all matters is that you got the key. I love the game because of this. The decision making is really good. There's also consequences, by the way. I said this multiple times, you know the drill. Finally, a choice making game where choices actually matters. Since you got the key, it's time to get out and prepare weapons, healing items, thinking that I will be against the big final boss, a big monster that blocks the only exit out of this woods. And the build-up was amazing. The bunker is terrifying. The underground is shaking, probably hearing the woods moving and growing so incredibly fast. Now, if you are claustrophobic, you will hate this. And the silence is killing me. Exploring this place was horrible. Probably because I don't see, people, and instead I just hear nothing but the, rumbles of the earth. My heart was pounding. I wanted to get out of this place so quick. So I just ran, restored my mana, make sure that I'm alive in real life, checking my heartbeat if I was okay. And finally, I got to the exit door. Chapter 2. I was relieved and stressed at the same time. Relieved because I got out of the bunker. Stressed because now I'm in the swamp. The swamp is a whole new territory. You'll find full of new threats, but you're near the main road. So do the first thing when you get there. Barricade the windows, get all the supplies for your new polished home, and get used by your new surroundings. You also probably get your new upgrade for your character. Woohoo! This time there's a man, a talking corpse with a smile, telling you to rest, lay down and sleep. But your bed is 6 foot down. The forest is telling you to sleep, but sleeping is no near safe. Coat knows that when he sleeps, he might die. To the woods, probably of how many days you haven't slept, you will pass out and sleep. But the protagonist knows you are close to the main road. And then you finally sleep. Get out of the forest first, and then finally, peace. A soft bed. Well, you can't see my bed because it's a futon, but yeah, you get what I mean. You get the gist of it. And in north, at least in my playthrough, maybe your old village could be south, west, east, RNG. The old village, all burnt up, is the main and final location of the swamp. It's full of danger, but a lot of supplies, so I recommend you getting here first once you get to the second chapter. In the swamp, I said earlier that you will meet new threats. Let me meet one of them. Oh! The meat spider. The main spider is about 5 people merged together and turn into a spider. His ranged attack deals not so much damage and does deal a lot of damage to itself because it rips one of his arm off and throws at you. But main danger of it is its melee damage, so don't get near it. Just shoot it to death. Speaking of don't stay near the enemy, meet this boy. I call him Bomb. Ow. Because he literally explodes. And the swamp shows no mercy. Remember that. The swamp stops anyone who's trying to get out of this hellhole. But don't give up. Remember, come. There are these eyes, that will block your path. It will create an obstacle for you to be blocked by, but if you shine a light towards it, it will unblock itself and make a path for you. There are a lot of traps as well. For example, there are these white mushrooms. These mushrooms are also in the previous maps, but it's spread around almost everywhere in the swamp. Same thing with the bulging corpses. What the f? Centipedes will appear from the ground and will attack you from the underground, so always keep moving around and shoot it down. Also, if possible, use your trusty shovel. It destroyed my barricade in 2 seconds. Now, if you notice there's a new merchant, We don't know what about them for now, but later we will. There are new traders. Boy, I miss my silent husband though. They sell more stuff, but they just watch you silently, or just quietly accept the trade if you're willing. Now, when the 3 appears, there will be also one more thing that will spawn near the entrance of the bunker. A body of a man wearing a helmet. His head has been severed. Huh? Huh? What? Is it the first trader? Now the word that's written on his helmet was, that says liar. And the trader's journal is similar to the one that our protagonist has. With the look of the trader and reading through the protagonist's past notes that we acquired, it might have been that the trader and the protagonist could have been on the same special force dispatched for a mission. That mission is probably for the Darkwoods. But for now, that's what information I got at this point. In the old village, there are a lot of supplies, but at one point you will get inside the building written the word thief everywhere. On floors, walls, and ceilings, and you'll find a photograph of 3 boys. I wonder who these 3 were. And the more you explore the old village, you'll meet the cripple. The cripple is the only survivor of the village other than the 3. The cripple describes them as the thieves, stealing items and eventually go crazy, praying and talking to the tree. And we'll see, what the talking tree is about. Keep talking with him and eventually he'll beg you to do something for the greater good. Burn down that tree. And when we get to the talking tree, we see this. What the f am I playing? This talking tree is formed by flesh of people and animals, forming this abomination blocking the path. So we have to find something that destroys this tree. Few Molotovs won't be enough damage. So, I tried throwing some few Molotovs, but it seems to be unaffected by it. The cripple did told you this. We need to destroy it from underneath, via the flooded cellar in the old village. So we need to find a gas tank first. When you explain this problem to the cripple, he tells you that the elephant family can give you a gas tank. Of course, like every quest in this game, he knows where to find them. Now, I would say that this game's awesome. I love it. The problem is, most of the objectives are just fetch quests, like go kill that pig and go back to me, go get that key and go back to me. Which makes sense because most of the people who tell you to do this stuff, they aren't trained, they're just survivors and afraid of dying and, just trying to live a bit longer. But this makes, I don't know, I guess you could call it a double-edged sword. If the progression of the game is all about fetch quests, it's gonna get boring to some people. Now, because of the repetition of reaching from point A to point B is something, it's gonna be sometimes a bit tiresome. But the game makes up for, giving you rewards, such as supplies, lore, information on getting weapons and such. I don't know, I do enjoy and love the game, but I can see that some people will get, kind of get tired of this kind of, fetch quest. Another and last complaint I have for the game is the item management doesn't make sense. Like, using an armor cost of equipping it on a quick slot, but a watch works even if it's inside your backpack. Here's another one, a small item like, the pills take up a slot. Yes, the pills can, stack up to like 3 to 5 times, but one magazine take up 1 slot. I recommend this. Have a holster for a pistol and a sling for any big weapon like a rifle or shovel, shotgun, yada yada yada. And if you do keep a rifle or shovel in your bag, it should take up like 3 or at least 2 spaces of inventory? Yes. In order to bring out the item from the backpack, you have to stay still and you can't see around you. But at the same time, if all items takes up 1 space, essentially a big weapon, it just makes no sense and kind of ruins this tension and immersion. So yeah, that's all the complaint I have. Just the repetitive fetch quests and, the item system kind of doesn't make sense. Now in the swamp, there are a lot of locations that will give you lore, supplies, and weapons, such as this location. Hello? I'm here trapped. Cut me loose. The devs of the Darkwood are, ladies and gentlemen, the devs of the Darkwood, they're high. This huge snail asks you to cut him loose because something is calling him. After cutting him loose, come back where to find more lore update. First, shame that my shovel is broken, and double shame with this because when I'm trying to get back to the safe house, there's a junkyard. And the junkyard is where every loot goblin's wet dreams are. Use a shovel to dig up supplies, and one of them digging area has an important item for the story. So when you're about to reach the swamp, get like 5 shovels, I'm not even kidding, and quickly make your way to the junkyard. And man oh man, look at all the supplies, those juicy supplies. Well, after like 3 nights of the swamp, you'll see that the floor here is kind of damaged, as if someone was dragging something against the wooden floor. Earlier, this door was unbreakable, but when you try to open the door again, it opens. And inside this, it's open now. The musician kid, but this time he's horribly disfigured, and he explains what happened at the village. I like the distorted music that's playing in the background. It's a reminder that an innocent kid who loves to play violin, even if he's horrible at it, the woods have disfigured him, and the only option right now is just let him stay there safe. Now that you have opened up the path for the snail, there are notes, and the note is probably a villager from the swamp, explaining that the flood came by and slowly dying starvation. But while surviving, the radio tower in the swamp is emitting some weird noises, and we also get to hear it. In time, you'll get to this area. This place is kind of horrifying, expecting something to attack you. But eventually, you'll meet this lady. Her hair full of mushroom growing. You'll talk to her. She seems in a daze. You show her pictures, normal information. Well, I will explore the quarry like the mushroom lady mentioned earlier, but I did want to talk to the elephants first, so I head east. When you get to their house, they think that you're a threat, warning you that whatever you do, they will kill you. But if you realize that their generator is out of fuel and you add fuel to them, they are somehow surprised by the act of your kindness and they ask to see you. To enter gas tank, you have to find Masnek. I'm sorry if I push his name, I'm sorry man. One of the children of the mama elephant. She did mention about a granny. I wonder who could it have been. Go to this room with a key given by the mama elephant and find more information there. Speaking of this family, can we appreciate how crazy and abusive is she? Man, I love overprotecting my family where it feels like they're chained and have no freedom due to a paranoid and surely a mentally unstable mama. She did bring out a few good points though. The air. Our protagonists like these mushrooms, gives them powers and abilities. What if it's to a point of an addiction? Because we do have an option of eating the mushroom from the old lady's head. I don't know why. Our main character is slowly becoming the part of the woods. This is headcanon. That's why the mother was, scared towards you and warns you when you get close to them. Well, who knows? But for now, we have to find Masnek, one of her kids. Fortunately, it's very easy to find where he is, and I'm pretty sure that the devs are also kind of getting tired with this repetitive quests, because this quest can be completed very easily. Show the mushroom lady the drawing of a child. She tells us that she enjoys the company of a child, but explains that there are raiders sometimes. The place she lives is no safe utopia, so she asks you to get rid of them. Well, it's kind of messed up. Get rid of the raiders and she will free Masnek. It's kind of like an interrogation. Well, there are 3 options that you can deal with this. 1, you can lie to the old lady that you got rid of the raiders. 2, you can block off the cursed entrance, seal off, and finally, kill them all. Now you can leave the ones that are, who are unhealthy and unwell, but there's another question. The raiders in the quarry are from the silent forest. Earlier, the musician said that the villagers cut down trees despite them, growing fast, but they managed to get here at the swamp barely. With their main source of food, the soul, gone, they have a hard time finding some food. Well, it's them trying to survive, but the result of them, being hungry, the starvation, they wanted to eat Granny and possibly the child. So, it is your choice. I would have blown off the entrance quarry, but I didn't know that. I just executed them, like what my ancestors did to my other ancestors. Once you've taken care of them, or like the granny, she'll give you the mushroom key where the kid is hidden. There, you can see him with his drawings of his lovely family. When you get close to him, he'll start singing a song. Well, you just forcefully carry the kid and took back to his family. But the song doesn't really make sense, but maybe, just maybe, 5 bears mean the whole elephant family, I guess? And the mother mentioned about one more boy who provided the gas tank. So I just thought of a code, 1245. We took him back to the family while he was screaming for help, and finally, the way out, we have received the gas tank. So, what's the number of 1245 for? I didn't find it on my first playthrough though, because how I was excited of getting out of this hellhole. Well, it's near the elephant family's house. It's a greenhouse where you can unlock with the code 1245, and inside is something that's kind of messed up. Probably the most disturbing thing that you'll ever see in this game, a corpse of a child carrying a tank. And he's also carrying a note for the radio tower. The note reads about, it's a hint actually, and it's for the location of the radio tower in the swamp. In a note, it has written an exact time and exact door number. When you open that door at that time, they'll give you the prize, and that prize is a shortcut for the ending of the game. But that's not fun, is it? You wouldn't do that, would you? Trust me, because doing that is kind of underwhelming, because I want you to straight go to the talking tree and burn it to the ground. Once you've used the gas tank and dive underwater, you're in this bunker-like area, and you realize it's a dream sequence. Looping hallways always ends up in a certain room, gradually getting worse and messier. It's like someone was blocking an entrance from something. You pick up an axe and a torch to navigate your way. You get this claustrophobic segment where you're in this cave, nowhere out. It's terrifying, especially with this great sound design and the ambience of the game. Once you wake up after being consumed by the darkness, you continue your path, and then you end up here. The gasoline tank, a huge one. You release the valve and the gas starts to pour. One thing to do left, and there's no turning back afterwards. Burn it all. Its roots, its trunks, and it screams. When you get back and see the cripple seems to be in a trance, like he couldn't believe what he was seeing. He knew that it will be over soon, but he's in a state of just shock and full of excitement. He always wanted to see that tree burnt to the ground. But you gotta get back, or this fire will consume you. You get back to your safe house, waiting for the fire to die down. It starts to rain, and then you hear some sounds. You see something like a huge light, and you hear some footsteps. Not only 1 or 2 people, it's like a mob. No, it's like an army. And you have to last for 1 more night, and all of this will be gone. You fight. Remember about the tactic from the start. Be mobile, be resourceful with your healings and surroundings, kite them, and use a weapon if you have to. Don't die now. You made it this far. You did this. If you die, you will be stuck here forever. You can do this. You can live through the nightmare. Don't let the woods take you. And before you realize it, it's over. 8 a.m. You see your surroundings, all burnt to ashes. You get to the old village. The cripple is nowhere to be seen. And go through the burnt tree, where it leads to the road home. You see the old man crawling his way. You also see shadows or ghosts, figures of people walking, with just burnt up ashes of people desperately walking through the fire, but burnt in the process of it. It shows you that the people who were stuck here were desperate of getting out of there. They were here in the woods, in this cursed forest, for a long time. That it didn't matter if they were gonna get burnt. They just wanted to see the road home again. You walk through the forest. You can't open up your journal or your inventory. You can only move forward. And finally, out of the forest, you finally see something civil, a power line. You walk forward more. You made it. Finally, home. You see a guy feeding breadcrumbs. You see your first floor neighbor greeting you and the protagonist greeting back. You get to the upstairs. You see a janitor greeting you, telling you that they haven't seen you in days. You get to your apartment, unlocking your door with your key. And then you got home. You undress, you get to the kitchen, a note written says that your wife made you a soup. Finally, a warm meal, a simple vegetable soup. You try to get to your bedroom, but it's locked. You find the key in your living room table and see your pet dog, Zreki. You get to your bedroom, and finally, you see your bed. It looks warm, soft, inviting. Finally, getting a deep sleep. After your days and nights of not sleeping in the cursed forest, finally some sleep. And then you pass out, laying down in a soft bed. The game telling you the outcome of your choices. Depending on your choices, these outcomes of your characters you meet will change. Their journey, your choices, and your survival has paid off. You have finally got home, resting, and asleep. But that's not all. If you notice something is off, then you're right. Keep exploring. What did you notice?
And they're gone. Who's going to eat the bread now? Wait a minute.
It's looped. And when you get here in the first floor apartment and then try to open it, it will open when you get away from it, and through the slight crack you see a baby. When you try to get out of the apartment, your character really wants to sleep. I mean, I don't blame him, he's been awake for 20-something days, at least in my playthrough. But when I thought that my apartment was in the basement, I don't know why I thought my apartment was in the basement. I don't know why I checked there. That's when I realized something was really off.
It's Chomper. Oh, there's way more. Oh. I'm out. Yeah, sleep now. No. I'm out. No.
Going through the endless hallways will only get worse. The hallways gradually getting worse. When you look at the cracks of the walls, you see them. You know something's off. You at least need to see 3 of these events to activate this ending. Once you do all the undressing, eat the vegetable soup, and getting the key for your bedroom, you'll notice something different. Like underneath the TV or the couches, do you see those? Something's off, right? When you get to the bedroom, you unlock this prompt when you resist of going to sleep, and the protagonist asks you if you forgot something. And then, when you get to the kitchen and get the screwdriver, you can remove the wooden planks. Slowly, and slowly, and slowly, the lights turn off, and right underneath the bed you see this. And when you get there, you're inside something full of people asleep. You move on forward and you might notice a few NPCs. When you move forward more, your character feels this warmth. This is the being that's keeping all of you trapped. When you look around more, you'll see this man holding onto something. When you try to grab it, he resists despite that he's asleep, and the protagonist recognizes that man. So in desperation, you grab it out of him, calmly.
What's this? Oh my god!
You have the flamethrower. You know what to do. Once you burn this being, the people around you want you to stop. The people who are tired, who wanted freedom and just wanted to sleep, they want you to stop this. But they want this false paradise while slowly dying to this eldritch being. Your character knows better. He needs to stop this being once and for all. And for that, he's going to burn down whoever tries to stop him. You're trying to get out of this place like, some people, but some people are still trying to stop you. They're angry at you for taking this paradise away from them, but you know you did this for the greater good. Those people who were dreaming non-stop know nothing. You finally put a stop to this cursed forest. Yes, my choices lead to a lot of misfortune to the others, but it makes for my character of how desperate he was to the others. He wanted to come back home and see his pet dog and his wife again, but in order to do that, he needs to do that. So it makes sense that, sometimes he's got to abandon or just straight up do some messed up choices in order to escape. In the end, we don't know the real outcome of the story and the wood's inhabitants. We don't know how much of these events are real, even if the people are real in the Darkwood. Was even the beginning of the Darkwoods real? All we know so far from the protagonist's journal, you, the outsiders, were sent out with your team to investigate its source, but things went wrong after an attack on your camp, now ended up alone. In early September 1987, the camp was attacked by savages and overwhelmed. 3 individuals wearing hazmat suits were tied up, and one of them was you, the protagonist. When he freed himself, he stumbled around in the hands of the doctor. That's when your journey begins. The protagonist also mentioned in his notes that his boring life was so much better, watching sports on TV, news, and even children's TV show to distract himself. He was friendly and a good-natured man until the fungi of the forest made him aggressive, just like most of the inhabitants in the forest, which the elephant family pointed out the devil's heir. Some gamers pointed out that the trader and the protagonist, they look similar and alike, making it such as making a theory that they're both the same human being, but the trader is actually a copy made by the forest, trying to replace all human beings. I noticed this earlier, but when you're exploring Wolfman's hideout, you'll find a note of him, the note from the hunter gathering his trophies, and it makes sense that the wolf is just a replica of the hunter, made by the forest, a sadistic, vengeful wolf, being who likes to inflict pain and mock human beings, calling them meat. It's like, the Darkwood, wanted to replace all the human beings as, it's like this. That's why the humans, are becoming more of savages, losing their sanity because of their, the fungi and stuff. At least that's my theory. Yeah, that's my take from what I gathered from the notes and journal in the game I found. That makes sense, but at the same time, it doesn't. Because, which is what I love about this game and why I made this video. The game doesn't offer true answers. Funny enough, after playing the game, it brought up more questions rather than answers. And that's a great storytelling in a horror game. It will put you in a depressing state and just in awe of what you just experienced. It felt like I was in the woods itself. I might be overreacting and overstating, I guess, and it was an amazing journey. The journey of survival, and it kind of gave me a hard time making decisions. And what kind of diaper should I wear? That kind of stuff, I guess. Of course, the feeling of paranoia when I was playing the game. Yeah, that too. But yeah, for a week, no joke, I had a hard time, sleeping because of this game, because it questioned me so much that, what could have happened if I let the doctor live? Who is the wolf? Did the 3 actually kill the trader? We will never know, but I do know one thing, and that is that Darkwood is one of the scariest survival horror game I've ever played.